Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Hey man now, boy, and welcome to the Believes Crypto Show. I'm just messing around, guys. Welcome to the Believes Crypto Show. It is a bright Monday morning. The market is pumping one more time. Everybody who told you that at 125,000, we're going to absolutely dump and get dunked on is full of shit. So give them a shout out, clap for those dingbats, and let's see what happens. For those of you that don't know, I don't have any AC, so I'm going to be shirtless until I get some air conditioning, and they're supposed to be here today to fix it. So hopefully this is going to be the last time that I have to sit here and sweat in a hot studio during a show. So, and by the way, I had a leak in the roof not that long ago. So we had people come out and fix it. And when they did, I thought, maybe we should check the AC. And then didn't. And woke up the other day and it's just like kind of like grinding. You can hear the something is hitting something. So yikes. Anyway, hopefully it's going to be just fine. But let's talk about what's going on in the market right now. The question of the day, Bitcoin has surged to an all-time high. Is XRP going to follow? And not only that, but XRP started to surge a little bit. We had a nice little rip on XRP just a little short while ago. We're getting some of that build up. We're getting some of that move to the upside. I think we got up to a 305, 307, something like that. So I think that we are in the process of the breakout. Now, if you haven't already, hit that like button on the way in. If you did hit the like button on the way in, hit it again. It's not going to hurt you. I mean, unless... I don't know about that cancer thing by clicking the like button on YouTube. I don't think that's really a thing. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about what is going on. And we're going to start off today. Jack the Rippler. Now, Jack the Rippler is not necessarily somebody that I follow diligently, that I pay too much attention to. But when you see symmetry, and the one thing that I will say is Donald Trump likes to repeat what he hears from other people. So this right here, and this does go back a while, by the way, but it said he sounds like the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. This speech was right after the meeting with Brad Stewart and Trump. So XRP is a done deal. I don't know what XRP is a done deal means, but if I were to guess, then I would guess that this is a potential replacement in kind for the SWIFT payment system. Now, I don't know if that is the case or not. I don't know if they're just going to get a small amount of attention or something like that. But, I mean, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows what's going to happen? Now, let's move on here and go to the Kobayashi letter. And we had a big day today. AMD, and this is going to get real interesting. Here's the insider trading that you've been waiting for. Here is how it goes. All right. You can't make this up. On October 2nd, users on X began noticing unusual options activity in AMD. Over 6 million worth of long dated calls were purchased and flows into AMD stocks were strong. One user explicitly said they bet AMD just signed a multi-billion-dollar deal to support GPUs to OpenAI. 4 days later, AMD announces a deal with OpenAI that will generate tens of billions in new revenue. So being on X is literally alpha for investors. So how crazy is it that what you're looking for, the crazy moment here, is actually playing out real time. So that being said, AMD early trading up 20% on the day. It is absolutely exploding right now on this news. And look, this could be the start of something wild. Now, 20% for me, that's going to be my play right there. And I'm out. You know what I mean? So this is insane. An AMD stock extends gains to 35% on the day after the deal with OpenAI. It's on track for the biggest single day market cap gain in history. Let's just take a moment here. Let's pop over to AMD. Let's look at on all here. Let's look at AMD on the NASDAQ right now. Look at that right there. All right, up 27% so far on the daily. I'm not sure. Maybe is trading open? Yeah. You know what? Let's see if we can get a better one, because that one looked kind of. No, that's. There you go. Went up to a high of $194 just a short while ago. Guys, that's a crazy move. And by the way, this does mean, in my opinion, you're going to start seeing some tech stocks really take off. One of them, Fetch. I think Fetch is going to have a monster run coming very, very soon. Remember that Fetch AI is your AI hub for everything. Don't forget, when you're talking about these, that Render most likely has a big move in the Render's up 5% on the day. Now, Render, by the way, is NVIDIA, but it doesn't change anything. It's really, really just the dawn of AI kicking off. Maybe that starts the bull market. Maybe that starts everything, gets everything just ready to go. We're up $79 billion on the day, by the way. Make sure you hit that like button for $79 billion. What a good day so far. Let's break it out. Let's kind of look around, see what else is going on. AMD, we're done with there. The bull market, 0 indicators hit. We are still in hodl mode. If you've got an influencer out there telling you, hey, 125,000, you better short, you better sell. And I told you guys, I am too afraid of this market for that. But I got some confirmation of my own bias just a little while ago. If you were there last night for my live stream on trading, then you will know that my goal right now is we set a buy order for, and as a matter of fact, I'll pull it up for you. We set a buy order for 118,200, I want to say, for Bitcoin. And here we are right now. So the only trade that we're still in actively is that Avalanche trade, and we're still underwater a tiny bit, but Avalanche is finally starting that reversal process. Maybe we're going to get a little bit of pump out of it. But our active orders, here we are, Bitcoin right there. We set a buy order at 118,200. That was our spot. That's the one that we picked as the best option for right now. And when I went and looked at, let's see what we got here. Boom, 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 boom. I don't think we were looking for that. We were looking at Bitcoin. Maybe I was looking on my phone. I saw something earlier where they were talking price action, and most people were saying, oh, look how handsome that guy is. Should follow him. God damn it. Anyway, you know what? Maybe I bookmarked it. Nope. All right. Well, I tried. Anyway, guess where? You'll never believe exactly where it's telling you that you should put your money. Let's go to this. Let's close that out. Let's go to the liquidation heat map. Let's start to zoom out just a little bit, see where the liquidity is right now. And we got to do it on a larger time frame. We got to move to symbol instead of, every time I say symbol, I think like the Lion King for some stupid reason. And right there, nope. Right around here. Ooh, that looks a little bit deeper than I thought. Let's go look out just a little bit further out. And then is it right there? Nope. Is it right? So the bottom of this range right here, where it was before, going all the way down into it, is at about 118,000. Okay. That's where you've got this little pool that's kind of sitting there all the way to 118,076. Now take that into consideration, right? And look at this chart. There we go. All right, so we look at this chart right here, and where was our position the last time? Let's zoom out here. We're on the 1 hour. Got to get on the daily. Right there was the dump area. Right there, that zone. Right there, the wick right off of the top. Now, the reason that I brought that up is because every time we come down, if you look at this move right here, so we had a nice move when we surged to 123,500, whatever that number was, 123,000. Then it dumped all the way down. And where did it dump down to? Right here to the top of that previous range, which is representative of this area right here. So what is the likely scenario there? Probably the same thing going to play out. We do this again. We come over here and we look, and what is the top of that previous range? It's right there. Guess what? We had this big move up here. Also, top of the previous range was right there, and we did that as well. And then we broke all the way down to this range. So what's going to happen next? Well, in short term, a retest of this range is most likely. And that range right there is 118,095, I guess, 118,023. Now, when we were looking at that, it was about 118,073, I want to say. But what we're looking for is we're looking to make sure that we get in on the trade. So 18,200 is my spot for an entry. So we're going to enter at 18,200 if we're fortunate enough on this dip to get there. Now, there is the possibility of a breakdown, but right now you're minting higher lows at every given opportunity. So you're still bullish. You're still in a bullish scenario. Here's the 50. Here's the 200. You're broken above both of those. You're bullish right now. Let's stay bullish. Now, the most likely scenario would be a break down over the next couple days, so that symmetry always seems to apply, by the way. So you get a breakout right here as the 50 kind of crawls up into that 118.2 range, and then boom, it goes up. You know what I mean? All right, so let's see how this all kind of plays out. Nonetheless, again, zero indicators on the bull market, peak indicators. So we're still feeling pretty good about what's happening in the overall markets. And the ETF flows, look at this. On Friday, 985 million in inflows on the Bitcoin ETF. It is getting more and more and more and more bullish by the day. Look at the flows, the way that they're happening right now. Okay. I think the game is over. I think we are going to win. Now, a look at the Ethereum ETF flows on Friday, 233. We're now at 14.46 billion in capital inflows on the Ethereum ETF. The rest of them haven't even launched yet. The only one that we've seen that's launched otherwise is the ETP that we had the other day for Solana. And guess what? On the last day that we have on record right there was 10/1. And what did we get on that day? 13 million in inflows, totaling 113 million. And by the way, we're just getting started, right? We don't have an actual ETF trading. This was just the first one. And by the way, if you remember, this bypassed the traditional the traditional mechanism, if you will. So there you go. It's just absolute insanity happening right now in these markets. So make sure you sign up for the channel. Make sure you use TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. Terraport.finance for all your Lunk meme coins, utility coins. And don't forget, by the way, Louisville lost this weekend. That was bullshit. As you guys might know, Louisville Cardinals football fan, don't like the fact that they lost. But I also don't like the fact that Jeff Brom is the coach. I think it's, by the way, I do like the prodigal son narrative, because Jeff Brom, if you didn't know, the coach for the University of Louisville, was a college quarterback at the University of Louisville. He also was a disciple, if you will, of Howard Schnellenberger, who was a national championship winning coach with the U in Miami. And then he left Miami and came to the University of Louisville, where he rebuilt a program, turned it into at least it's still a pretender, if you will. But at least every once in a while, you see that they kind of shoot up, punch up a little bit, and knock off some big names here and there. But they generally had a pretty decent football team since then, and they play tough football. But, you know, you make mistakes, and he's one of those guys that just, you know, you make mistakes and it's okay. So he doesn't get everybody amped up. He doesn't get everybody amped up for the big games. He doesn't get everybody amped up for the small games. You know, he tries to be calm, cool, and collected about everything. And look, they needed something. And by the way, the wrist was down for Miller Moss, but the referees fumbled the bag. And by the way, remember when the wrist was down for Lamar Jackson, that touchdown didn't count. When the wrist was down for Miller Moss, that interception did count. So that's Miller Moss's fault, but you know, inconsistent referees doing inconsistent stuff. Man, they're on the take. They are on the take. Now let's talk about the bubbles right now. Aster's up 10% on the day. Aster not giving me the dip that I was looking for. So we're not going to be entering Aster until we get down to about $1.20, something like that. I still think it's coming. I still think we're going to have a breakdown. What you've got right now is you've got the cult of CZ Binance propping that up, despite CZ Binance coming out and saying, look, I don't have anything to do with this thing. Like, you guys are just crazy. Like, this is not a thing that I'm involved in. My company is involved, but I'm not part of Binance anymore. You know, all of those kind of things. COAI up 562%. Boom. We got a runner. So now that's, by the way, Devi, where you at, bro? Where you at, boo? Aleo up 40% on the day. Useless up 16% on the day. We've got Bless up 50%. We've got Giggle up 83%. The money is starting to fly everywhere. If your crypto is not capturing the money that's flowing everywhere, you're doing something wrong. Q up 36% on the day. I assume this is going to be like, nope, it's Quack AI. You know what I mean? Torn 22%, OVPP up 10%. We've got a little bit of downward momentum with Everlyn down 51%. B2 Naoris up 30% or so. Sky AI 27%. Strike X, I don't even know what the fuck that is. 17% on the day. We got J Manuel bought 4,000 more Devi with my profits from Exceller. Guys, it's time to talk about Exceller, because did I call this shit or did I call this shit? Okay. Look, here's what I told you guys. If you set a buy order right now at this level right here at 204, that you are going to get a dip down here and you are going to get a rip right above it. And guess what's happening right now? If you bought right now at that range, you're up 20%. It started its reversal, bounced off of it. And by the way, remember I told you that there is a possibility that it breaks down even further, because if it doesn't hold that level, then that 0.002 is going to be the level that you want to enter in. Guess what? It actually came down to that range. So if you took a little bit more into it and you got that 0.0024, which was the number 0.02027, whatever the number was, if that was the opportunity you got right there, then take it, and boom, you're up 120%, 130% right now. If you got in where I said right here, you're up 20% right now. So crazy times over at XCL. And by the way, I look at what's going on over here. Just massive sell downs. The whales that were accumulating, the whales that were escalating this show, they just started dipping out. Now, most of you know I took my 18X. I got out a long time ago. I don't feel comfortable getting in right now. Not even at this level. Not even at this level. Because of the breakdown and because I didn't set a buy order and I missed it. If you did, however, then you should know that the most likely scenario for a play out is back to a penny and then lower. And that's because this area right here is attractive, but you're going to see that is probably the death knell right there of XCL in the short term. So I wonder if Austin sold any of his. I'm going to say that the answer to that is yes. When I was looking at it this morning, I saw some sells coming out at 25,000, and I clicked on it and I went over here and I looked at token transfers and I looked at when they got the Exceller. You know, I started looking around for when they got it and what they did with it and stuff like that and how much they got. And this right here was 20,000 worth. So I got a feeling that Austin might have cashed out about 50 grand off of 20 grand. So I don't think he did that well off of it ultimately. Look, and by the way, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to tell you guys. That was a few minutes ago, J Manuel. I'm going to tell you guys. I told Austin that I'm out at 18x and that there's no chance. And then I sent him a message saying generational entry. And then after I talked about generational entry with him, then I looked at the chart and I told you guys that I thought it was going to come down to this level, and it came down to exactly that level. So, I mean, I don't mean to be right, but what's there to hold on for? That's the question right now. And you have to remember, the degen army is going to dump on you. And if you don't dump on them, they are going to dump on you. That is the modus operandi of cryptocurrency right now. The exception to that is Aster, not the rule. The exception is Aster, not that it's not following the rule. Everything else is following the rule of breakdown. So they are breaking down, and it's a buy opportunity. I hope you guys make a little bit of money off of it. But again, there's a lot of risk to it. And by the way, it's pumping back up. It's now back to 5.1 million market cap. So this is a nice reversal. If this gets a strong move, again, could go up to 1 penny. Now, listen, if it breaks 1 penny, then you're talking about maybe 2 cents, possibly 2 cents. You might even see it start to break back up towards the top up there. But these guys got out. Boom. They did come out last night and say the protocol will be live in 14 days and set a timer. So I would say and by the way, I don't know how you have to I don't know how you have to trade, by the way. Or I don't know how you trade on this with the Fox formula. I assume that you have to go to their website and it just becomes a DEX of some sort when it launches. So you got 14 days right here. Fox formula available soon. Yeah, so I'm assuming that this is just going to be a new DEX for you. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, and again, I anything with smart contracts has inherent and built-in weaknesses. So once it's audited, once everything is ready, if you will, then we'll look at it and we'll see. And like, if it's good, then we might get an opportunity for a dip or something like that. I mean, you never know. Any idea on CAS, but not really. I've told people over and over and over again, like my move here for Caspa was ultimately was going to go to $1.03, I think, right up here. 103. Yeah. So ultimately I put $1.03. This is way back when. So I guess this is probably going to be right around here. Maybe $1.03 is what I think is going to happen with Caspa, which is I want to say 14x, about a 14x from where it is right now. And the reason for that, by the way, it's already got a huge market cap. So I don't see it going up super high because, I mean, what's the reason? What does it have? What is it making? You know what I mean? I don't know. When you launching on Pump Fund while streaming the Believe show? I don't know that I'm going to, I don't know. We'll see. You know what? If we're having fun, I don't like, if I were to launch a token, the only purpose of that would be a wealth transfer from you to me. And I appreciate that. And thank you if you participated in that. And thank you if you wanted to make money off of that. But grifting you is not how I really want to make money. So that's why I'm not really into it. I've launched a Believe coin. I've launched the Elon Musk rat, but it's I don't make money off of these. So it's just not my, but we'll see. We'll see. Crow seems to be doing pretty good right now. I think Crow clocked in at about 4 million. I think Crow was sitting at, was it Crow Show? It's at 5 million right now. So Crow Show is now exploding. So you never know. You never know. Oh, shit. In that case, we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know yet. Anyway, so a lot of movement here. Not my favorites moving. Fear and greed index is at 71. So we're still sitting. We're still waiting for that buy opportunity. We're still waiting for something to happen that triggers some big moves for some of the stuff. By the way, there is something happening over here. There was just an announcement for Mantra. Mantra's pumping a tiny bit, by the way. When I say that, it's not a huge amount. But JP Mullen just retweeted something that came from there we go, from Elevex AI, Real Estate Investment Exchange. It says this move by CETA Protocol and Mantra Chain sets the stage for the next wave of RWA adoption. At Elevex, we already tap into EDA CETA on Mantra for the accurate real-time token pricing. Soon for on-chain valuation of real estate and other RWAs. Programmable oracles like CETA make it possible to embed context, dividends, splits, events, pricing directly into tokens, giving investors the precision and transparency that they need. This integration strengthens the foundation we're building at Elevex to set a new standard for tokenized real estate investing. That's actually a pretty big move. So, maybe we'll, this seems like there's a chance. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But it is starting a bit of a move. I don't know if it sustains. I don't know if it's going to be something or not. But we did have some kind of thing happening. And we're up about 3% since the announcement, which was just a short while ago. So maybe this will be part of the reversal for Mantra. But it's not breaking out, right? So since we didn't see a massive breakout on it, we still need to see a move above the 50. We still need to see all the things that are bearish are still bearish here. So, and we're on the 4 hour right now. So on the 1 hour, most likely just broke above. And yeah, we just broke above. So you're bullish on the 1 hour, probably split on the 2 or close to it. No, you're actually bullish on the 2. You get to the 4 and you're split right now with trailing down at the 50. You haven't broken above the 200. When you get here, then it starts to get ugly. By the way, starts to get ugly right there. All right. So you need a break above to get bullish, right? You need a break above to get bullish. And we are way off. 99 cents right here is where the 200 MA is. So it is going to take a lot for Mantra to flip bullish. Now, if it does flip bullish, then, if you get this massive, we've had the massive move. We had the massive dump, by the way. There's some symmetry to that right now, by the way. It got hostile. Let's put it this way. It got hostile right about here, right? That was kind of your inflection point for a breakout at $1. So it really could be that we start to see a move towards $1 as this thing kind of moves that way. Symmetry being what it is. Maybe you see that start to play out. I don't know yet. But, if you're holding OM, at this price right now, I think you're going to be rewarded. If you bought it at $1 or $2, it's going to be a while, in my opinion. But again, I could see a move to 40 cents. I could see a move to 50 cents. I could see a move all the way up to where are we at here? About 60 cents. This right here, I just want to point this out to you guys right there. It's kind of the bottom of that range, 62 cents right there. So if we get a 62 cents breakout, then that's kind of a big move. It'll be a 4X from where it is. You know what I mean? Could be an opportunity. Devi, while the rest of the market is pumping, doing nothing still. But it does appear on the daily, let's go back over here, that it's coiling up in between the 50 and the 200. Looks like it's ready to attack the 200. Needs probably an announcement. The test net is live. So if you want to learn how to build, then you can do that right now. Public shard is not public yet. It's still in test net, but at least we're closer. Now, the whole thing here is getting above that 200 MA. And again, lagging indicator. So, a break above that becomes pretty bullish. Also, what we need to see that big crossover. What we want to see is upward momentum here. We want to see this thing start to curl upwards. And then we want to break above this and see it do that right there. And then boom, we get that crossover and then it goes nuts, right? That's what we're looking for. So maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. Definity continues its upward trend. Same thing happening over here. You know, we had this downward momentum, but you're looking at a reversal happening right there. You want to flip back above the 200, get above the 200, get a breakout above the 200, get this thing to move back up and cross over right there, and you get a golden cross, and then you get a nice little breakout from that. But again, lagging indicator, that's just telling you what's happening, not what's going to happen. But it looks like we're starting to get that reversal on the price for Definity. Been holding pretty firm. There was one whale that exited the other day, and that's what caused that little cascade of downward momentum. Also, I haven't the team was supposed to send me payment for coverage, and I still haven't received anything from them. So we're just going to put a pin in that. Maybe we'll talk about Definity at some point later on. But those of you that are holding, we're still going to point it out on the chart right there. 80 cents on API 3. Again, I think that we're going to get a break above into this range up here. VeChain has a much lower curve for me right now. Doesn't mean it's not going to break out. Just means that right now there's no bullish momentum. That could change on a dime if something happens. But again, ultimately bearish right now. 50 and the 200 still up here. We're using it as resistance. That's not a good sign. That means lower prices are coming, but also eventually higher prices are going to come. So I would be watching that. We'll look at that and we'll see what happens there. Conflux, if you guys remember, Conflux is the only public blockchain in China. And they were helping over the last month and a half to launch the digital yuan. So there is a stable coin in China right now, the digital yuan, and Conflux was the company that helped to put this all together, which explains the pump from 7 cents to 22 cents in late July going into August. That's why it pumped. They've completed the test, which is why it dumped. But when it dumped, it's now consolidating at or near this range right there, which looks to be predictably a sort of bottom for this move. And we've already cleared out the sellers in this level at 22, 23 cents. So it stands to reason that you could see a massive move coming very soon from Conflux. Looks like it's primed and ready. Remember how this kind of happened over here with XRP for a while, and then boom, that's when we got the full breakout, went to 350, whatever the price it was that it went to. So, you know, I think a breakout, 3 or 4x from Conflux, coming back up and testing this all-time high is probably in the cards right now. That's about 3.5, let's call it about 3.5x back up to the all-time high. If it breaks out of 4x, then it's going to be at the top of this range, which doesn't always hit perfectly, but you know, I think Conflict's about to have a nice little run. Ondo, so Ondo continues to kind of sit there right in the middle. Okay, this is a tightening of the bands of everything. I'm going to pull up Bollinger. Let's see what Bollinger looks like. So it just broke out right there. We had that big increase, and now it's tightening back up. Yeah. So caught in between both MAs. So we're ranging right now. Might see this happen for a few more days. Maybe get a breakout above. You get a breakout above and you get a little confirmation on a back test. Maybe it's time for a breakout there, but I'm not sure yet. I don't know anything. There's nothing happening right now on Ondo that's making me excited. That's giving me like the chills or anything like that. So I don't see any reason at this point for a massive accumulation. Centrifuge, not sure what's going on with Centrifuge. Matter of fact, we don't really need to talk about that one right now. Syrup is at the top of that range. I gave you the entry position down here at 37 cents. We're now sitting at 42. This is where I said it's going to reject. Also, again, it's in between, just kind of ranging right there, but it's got upward momentum, it looks like. But don't forget, before we say it's got upward momentum, that this trend line is still to the downside. You can see it clearly that it's still trending down, but it looks like it's in a consolidation pattern. So you got this playing out to the downside. You've got this playing out. That's a good setup for a breakout. You might get another chance right there that it stays in that range, comes back down into that, 36 cents, 37 cents sort of range. If you get another opportunity to buy at that level, then I would accumulate Maple right now, because again, breakdown here, this becomes a buy opportunity, and then there's going to be a breakout above, and then you're going to be testing this 52-cent level very, very soon, at least in my opinion. So we'll see if that plays out or not. I bought some more Lunk last night. I didn't buy it because I was getting suddenly bullish about Luna Classic. I went to Weeks and I bought ASM because I thought what a good idea it would be for me to just accumulate some more Assemble. And so I bought ASM on Weeks. It is not the same ASM. It is some random shit coin. And then I got trapped in that shit coin and lost like 40 bucks off of it as I was doing it. So my safe haven for that was going to be Luna Classic. And I said, you know what? Luna Classic is due for a spike at least for a short period of time, I think. So this is a good accumulation point right now. What I did, I basically zoomed in. I said, off of the impulse move right here, it looks like we tested 618. So maybe we'll come up here and go to 57, 58, something like that, which would be a nice little gain, tiny gain, but a gain nonetheless. So be watching for that move to happen. And then I didn't set a take profit at any point on it yet, but I thought it might be an easy move for some accumulation. Pepe's up 4% on the day. Again, ultimately bearish, but under the 50 and the 200 MA. Zebek is above, meaning it's bullish. So I would expect to see a breakout. The breakdown, remember I told you the play is from up here to down here to the 236 and then back down here deeper. It did not go deeper. That ultimately means it is incredibly bullish, and it just broke above the 50 and the 200, which means that it is back to bullish. So I would say that Zebek network probably heading to 0.007 in very, very short order. If you grab some right now, probably won't suck. I would still worry about it just in case. If you want to be shrewd on it, set yourself a buy order for, let's assume that this is a full move here. Set yourself a buy order at 0.004 and see if you get an opportunity at 0.004. If you do, again, might be an easy 100% breakout back up to the all-time high. So watch for that. Now, Tau, this is BitTensor, and it's trading at 334 right now, up 6% on the day, having a nice big move. That's pretty cool. XVM is delisted on crypto. I don't know what that means at all. We're going to remove that, and we're going to go to XVM and crypto, and we're going to see what that is right there. No, it says delisted. XVM USD Radium collateral market maker on Solana right there. Okay, so we'll get rid of that, and then I don't even know what the fuck that is. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with that, but XVM down 13% on the day. I don't know if it's gonna do anything or not. October 17 is when that launch is gonna happen. I got a few $100 in it, so we'll see what we'll see what transpires with it. But I'm not really sure how it's gonna play out. Acceler, guys, if you got in on Acceler, it is paying off for you big time already. Make sure you take your initial investment back out. Do not get trapped in a position. Don't get. I'm still not convinced that this thing is going to rip or explode. So. Take your money when you make your money. We're not standing on pleasantries anymore. We're trying to get in. We're trying to get out. We're trying to make our money. Speaking of making our money, Aster, I am wrong about Aster so far. And I'll admit it. This is not what I expected to happen. However, I do want to say that I think my thesis is going to play out ultimately for Aster, because if you look at it from this context and you say, well, where are we? Well, this is ultimately a bullish move, a bullish indicator. So you had a move, you had a breakdown to the 0.45. You didn't get down into the golden pocket, the golden zone. And then it broke back up over 236. And then it started to break down again. Maybe you could just say that after the first right there. Maybe you can make that argument that, that makes it look a little bit better for a charting process, or the way, basically Fibonacci is just trying to figure out the way the investors are thinking, right? So maybe if you're thinking what I'm thinking, then opportunity. Now, lower high right here and then right here, and then right here, and then right here. Okay, so we want to focus on that right now. We want to say that, you know, right now we've got this playing out right there. That's how far down it's going. The other part is it is coiling up right now as well. And that looks to me like something that could break out. Problem with that is there's no way. There's no way. In my opinion, I guys, here's what I say. $1.22 is your entry position. I'm going to stand by that right now and say that, you know, if you set a bid for $1.22 right now, you should be fine with Aster. You should get a nice breakdown, should get a move down into this range. You should be able to accumulate a little bit. And then ultimately, I think it's going to be bullish for you and that you'll make a pretty good bag off of it. Again, the money's already made. So any opportunity that you get is a good opportunity. And that good opportunity, I think, is only at about $1.22, $1.23 right now. Okay. So just my opinion. Might stop at $1.30 because $1.45 down here also looks like an attractive position. But when you go to the 0.45, you're still bullish. That means that people are not selling. That means the original investors are not dumping on it, which is a great sign, by the way. But just like we saw on Exceller, the whales eventually leave. The whales will eventually take their money and they will go home. That is the way that it works. That's the way that it always worked. That's the way that it will work in the future. Nothing's going to change that. So I'd be looking to accumulate right here. Shit. We want to do that one more time. We want to do this. Get rid of that. All right. And then we want that right there. We're going to label that entry. We should use generational entry going forward. All right. MK. MK is just bottoming out. I don't know what's going on. So the idea behind the Crow show appeared to be that they were going to use that as a reason to get people into meme linked, but it looks more like it's a reason for people to exit meme linked. So I don't know what's going on over there. I have no idea. You know, we'll see what happens. Cardano, still a stable coin, 86 cents, not moving very much. Trump up 2% on the day. Crow kind of dead even on the day. Fetch has not broken out yet, but again, I think it's going to break out. The lending platform Aave is starting to have its break again, sitting in the middle of this range right here, just like I was saying before, like not exactly breaking out. We got a lot of those, just not really breaking out. Aptos just broke out above. If we get a bullish crossover on Aptos, you're about to see a big move from them. Arbitrum up 6% on the day. Again, kind of in the middle. We're looking for a break above 50. Assemble is still down below, ultimately looking bearish. Again, I bought some, I thought yesterday, and it turns out it wasn't. So Ether is still going. Some really interesting runs here, by the way, like some really interesting. This chart doesn't make any goddamn sense, by the way. Ultimately, it looks like you found a bottom and you double tapped the bottom and then you're making your way back up. You've turned bullish again. You got this, this, and this. So you're back to bullish, and this is seeming to move up. So you're more aggressive right now. So I wouldn't enter Ether at any price right now. I think it's a little bit, you know, to me, it doesn't look good. All right. It just looks like a complicated entry. It's not going to pan out for you. Atom kind of consolidating, not really moving too much. Band Protocol not doing very much. BNB continuing to break out and continuing to surge. If you were to look at, what was my ultimate call here? $1,808. I said that during the bull run, Ethereum, BNB was headed to $1,808. By the way, we were calling that down here at $200-300. If you go back and you look at the pivot from bottom of the market to the top of the market, this might be the one right there. Yeah, the 127 clocks in at no. Oh, I know what it is. Duh. Dum. I think I pivoted that way right there. Yeah. So the 618 is right there. Let's get rid of that one. So the 618 from the previous bull market high is right here at about 1,800 bucks. It's at 1,780 based on the up and the down of the previous market. So that range of 1,800 seems to be where BNB is headed. Big move, by the way. Like, that is a really, really good move and seems to be playing out right now. So if you're a BNB holder, then shout out, man. You're making it. So let's go down the list here. Blocky's up 22%. Meme Linked is up 7%. Definity is up another 3%. Bonk's up 2%. API 3 is up 1%. Devi's up 1%. Volt is trading dead even. TARS is dead even. Mantra about dead even. Rocky down a little bit. Fias down a little bit. 100x Solana down even more. Crocky down even more. XVM Volt still down another 12%. WikiCat down 17%. We don't need to cover WikiCat. Nobody, I think there's one person here holding it, and we're not even talking about it. So we're going to get rid of WikiCat. It's just a waste of word. Right Wing down another 25%. Acceler again down 72%, but now it's 62.29. So if you bought at that 2 level, then guess what? That we talked about last night, you're up 3x at this point on Acceler. So you made it again. So shout out to you. Matt Fury's whatever this bullshit is just, to me, looks pretty dead. Volume is 119 bucks. I think that's pretty, I think it's safe to say that this thing is just not going to go anywhere and this team isn't doing anything. Last buy or sell was days ago. So I think they've basically abandoned that project. So I'm going to go ahead and sell Mises. Even though in the market, you know what? Maybe I'll just hold on to it for a little while. Maybe I'll just hold it, see what happens. As far as DEX volume goes, Solana is ripping right now with BSC close behind. Ethereum has dropped to third. The shine is off of Ethereum for trade volume, but it has moved to BSC and Solana. So still a lot of volume, just not on the Ethereum chain anymore. And then finally, where are we at here? Still down 281 bucks. I don't want to cash out on the Avalanche yet. That's an extra 700 bucks. That would be an extra $1,000 to throw at some kind of play. In the event that we could get some kind of play happening, of course, we're looking at those active orders right now. Are we going to get any of them filled? And I don't know that we are. So Vader Prime says, can you check out Monu? Thank you for the $5 bomb. Anybody else, if you are looking to talk about something like that, then that's how you do it. Use Super Chat. M-A-N-U. 50 million market cap. Fuck my life, man. Yeah. Okay. All right, to start off with, at the beginning here, up to here, what do we see play out? We saw the move all the way up, then we saw the, you know what, son of a bitch, while I'm doing this, like, I got to change all of this shit right here because I can't stand 236 is going to be our goal line, and then the 382 is going to be a white line. White power. Isn't that what? Yeah, there we go. All right, so we use that gray, and god damn it, I forgot what gray it is. And then we're going to put the golden zone right there. We're going to put the golden zone right there. That's going to be our Spizot. And then the 786 is going to be the generational entry line. And then everything else is going to be, okay, so now we had a move to the top. Then we had a breakdown into the golden zone. Then we had a move up to the 236. Then we had a breakdown even deeper. And now we're having a breakout even higher. Exactly what I tell you is going to happen with each and every one of those. So now that we have that one and it establishes the thesis, then we need to look at the breakout that we had right here, which is from this pivot to this pivot right here. You had a breakdown into the golden pocket and it got a little bit deep. Then you had to break back up to the 236. Now you're having another breakdown. Monu, in my opinion, unless there's a big announcement of something going on, okay, unless there's a big announcement of something going on, then this is destined to come down into this range right here at least. And then most likely your entry position, if you are looking for an entry position, is going to be right there at 7 zeros, 22.28. I am just wildly guessing, but that seems to be the opportunity. Ooh, Mononoke is up on the day, so you won, guys. There's that. What's up with Luna? I'm having a breakdown. I mean, there's nothing up with Luna. I mean, I've been dunking on these guys since the beginning. So I don't know what to tell anybody at this point. If you look at, I mean, look, it's very, very simple. You either want to build on this chain, you want to make it better, or you don't want to make it better. Okay. The things that are happening here are designed to try to improve what's going on. And you got these guys voting no, and they're voting this stuff down. So, you go to Jesus is Lord, for example, and you look at how they voted. Here's your governance decisions right here. The signal proposal for USTD, they voted it down. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that the USTD is not maybe something made for a layer for layer 2 or something like that, or something along those lines. I understand these guys have their reasons for it, but if you start going down here, here's what you find. Okay, doesn't want progress on USTD. No with veto on the secondary proposal, the one where they asked, hey, why don't you guys validators? Why don't you sit this out? And why don't you let the people decide? Because at the end of the day, the people voted yes to this proposal. And here's the votes right here. 52% of the people voted yes. So, and then the validators voted no with veto, right? The validators voted no or no with veto. The people wanted USTD. The validators rejected it. Okay. So that makes them, in my mind, just fucking crooks, and then going back over here, automatic failover for long-term inactive validators. Okay. So this guy voted no because these people, because this is, if you don't vote, if you don't participate, then you can't be a validator. And they voted no to that. They don't want progress. They don't want good things happening over here. Okay. USTC staking system for Terra Classic? Nope. Validation of the European repeg? Absolutely not. Clarification on entities with Terra Classic branding? Nope. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? Get in on Clash. That's George's token. Launched it on Pump Fund 2 weeks ago. Almost hit 100 million. I'm not getting in on it. Not at 100 million market cap. Like, why would I give George my money? Like, fuck that. No. It's a good thing that they're doing to bring influencers into Pump Fund and places like that. But man, like I said, I don't feel good about it. So, whatever. Anyway, all right, guys, that's going to be the show. I'm going to go get my workout on. I'm going to go wait for this AC guy. I'm going to try to figure out. Whew, it is hot here. So hopefully we'll have some AC tomorrow and we'll be back in close. In the meantime, I told you what I think on every position. I told you where I think the market is going. You guys have a better understanding of it, I hope. Bitcoin, I think it's going to break towards 135,000, by the way. I don't think it's going to break down like other people are saying. I hope that it doesn't. I hope that we get just a break down to get to 118.2. And then from there, that's where it starts to run again, because that will trigger a whole bunch of positions that I've got set up right now. And I'm holding them deep. But even if it goes to 135, the breakdown is still 118,200. So if I miss the move to 135, I'm going to catch it at 118 and make my way back up. But in the meantime, also, just so you guys know, sold my Bitcoin. I'm out until it goes back down to 30. So I'm applying that thesis to Bitcoin only on the Fear and Greed Index, and we'll see what happens there. Anyway, that's it for the show. Thank you so much. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon. By the way, if anybody has like an AI account or anything like that, I was trying to do a video. I was trying to do an AI video generator thing the other day, and I got hooked into one of them, and I started doing it. And I didn't like the video, by the way, because it looked kind of stupid. Hold on one second here. Let me see if I can find it. I'll show you guys in just a second here. Because I think it's like set up here for what is this? Talk 10.6. So I'm looking at 10.5. What's the studio here? So it says LTX. Is it LTX? Did I do LTX Studio? All right. Sign in with Google. All right. So we're going to sign in. Stay connected. No. My assets. I have no. Home. And do I have a history here? Oh, there's not even a history here. So whatever I did before is already gone. Ain't that a bit? Oh, you know what? That's not it. Dum-dum. All right, so let's try this AI video. There we go. AI, it's called AIvideo.com. That is the place right there. Here's my dashboard. Let me see if all right, here we go. Yeah, this is the one. View in editor. All right, so here's the video that I made. And then once it started to happen, what my whole idea was, what I wanted to see, I want a guy in a mohawk running through the streets of Chicago. But as you can see right here, they're running through water in Chicago. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's called Grimline cartoon. So when I did it, no. And then what it said was, after I spent 20 minutes making this goddamn thing, 30 minutes making this goddamn thing, and there's no consistency in the design or anything like that. And then at the end, it says, if you want to generate those as videos, then you click here and you can pay them $20 and they'll turn it into a video. So I didn't like the assets enough that it mattered to me. So we're going to skip that and we're going to not use it. And maybe we'll look at some other assets or something like that. Like I'm not sure that these are the, like, I'm not sure this is the one for me. It was this Grimline thing right here. If we wanted to start like a new project, I don't even know where to go for a new project. So music video right here. We want to upload our song over here, which is this one right here. Then you have like what kind of music it is. And then you have this right here. And this is what I was looking at right here. You see how that was kind of colorful right there? Boy, in the translation, it does not look very colorful. Also, then I realized afterwards that it's Halloween. So it would actually be better if I just did something that was more Halloweenish, I guess. So I don't know. Video will be out at 1 o'clock today. So anyway, that's the show. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys. We got some new intros and outros working. We'll have it done in the next couple of days, and we'll see.
I'm looking for the good life, sitting on top of the world. I wanna be